Hello and welcome. My name's Iveoma, and today's episode is about what investors look for in startups. I had the chance to talk to Iveoma, an investor and entrepreneur, and Renata, an entrepreneur who participated in the Wharton pitch competition. Before we go any further, please subscribe, click that notification bell, and on to the episode.
My name is Iveoma. I work as an associate with Quona Capital. Yeah, so Quona Capital, we do growth stage equity investing. So we invest in primarily fintech companies that are focused on emerging markets. So we have a team in Latin America, Africa, and Asia, and I focus on the Africa side. Within the Africa portfolio, there are certain dynamics that make an investment particularly attractive. I think one of the core criteria we look for is the management team. So not only do we want managers who we think are capable of running and scaling an interesting business, but also that have some kind of experience or track record of developing this type of enterprise. So either some experience in entrepreneurship, maybe some experience in the industry that they're working with, or maybe some experience in investing in general. The management is really going to be the driver of making this business successful or not. So that's one of the key things that we look at is who is the entrepreneur that's going to be the guiding force behind the investment we're making, and how much confidence do we have in their ability to grow the business. A lot of it is their track record. So have they done something like this before? Have they showed any capability of building and growing a business? But also just how savvy they are about the investment climate, so that they understand different terms that would be useful for a business. Do they understand what it takes to deliver a return for an investor? Are they savvy on those types of things? I think it's really important that our entrepreneurs understand that if they're asking for capital from an investor, it's not just to develop a good business or to develop an idea, but it's actually to eventually give a good return for that investor. So that money has to work in a certain way in order for 3 to 5 years to prepare an exit that gives them a good return for their investors. So those are sort of the certain skills, the savvy that we think is really important for an entrepreneur. All the other things, sort of understanding of the business, work ethic, those things we almost take for granted that they're going to come to the table with. My first advice would be, it's really tough, right? Some of the same issues, or some of the problems that in America or in a developed market would be really simple, are actually quite difficult to overcome because you have poor infrastructure, you have poor systems and regulations. You have to, even very basic things like logistics and energy and access to internet can actually be huge hurdles that you have to overcome in order to be successful. So I would say the first advice would be, it's tough, and you have to be really creative and innovative in the way that you solve even the most basic of problems. But on the other hand, there's a really huge opportunity. So if you think about some of the changes that have happened in the continent the last 5-10 years, it's been immense. You've had sort of huge trends in urbanization, you have huge trends as far as access to education and energy, and all these things mean that there is more opportunity to both develop a strong business, but also access consumers in a way that we never could. So as we start to see more technological innovations, which allow us to have sort of more data on customers, more systems to use for like sort of financing or for processing payments, etc., those things will make it a lot easier for an entrepreneur to do business there. But it also will make these opportunities really immense, so that those who are able to capture it can have a huge impact on people's lives, but also can grow a business and have good returns if they're trying to get capital from investors. Being on both sides, so working as an entrepreneur before, but also now being on the investor side, I think that these two ecosystems have to work very closely together. So as an entrepreneur, you sort of need investors to not only give you money and support and guidance, but also discipline as you try to grow the business. I think a lot of the entrepreneurs don't understand the value that investors can add, and I would encourage folks to sort of understand that aspect of the business initially, because the success of your business will likely be determined by whether or not you can get money to grow. And having that money isn't just based on the ideas that you have or the businesses that you're able to develop, but really on how you're able to structure things so that it's actually a more reasonable investment for an investor.
Hi, my name is Renata. I am the founder and CEO of Moai, an ethical fashion brand based in Malawi. So our clothes are made in Malawi, in Blantyre, where I used to live, but our fabrics are sourced from around the region. Unfortunately, right now, the Malawian textile industry isn't as strong as it could be. To be honest, even Malawian women don't buy Malawian chitenje, which is what this fabric is called there. In West Africa, I know it's Ankara. In Tanzania, I think it's kitenje. But we actually buy in Zambia, but most of our fabrics from Ghana and Nigeria, but we make sure that all of our fabric is 100% made in Africa, because you may know the market's been flooded with Chinese imports, so we try to avoid that and make sure even if we're not supporting the Malawian economy, we're supporting the African economy. Check us out. Follow us on social media. Shameless plug, of course. We're at MyMwai, and our website is www.mymwai.com. MWAYI.
I learned that investors can add more value than just money. Honestly, I do tend to think that investors are cash cows that can make it rain. However, they do have value beyond capital. They can act as advisors. They can help you with your business strategies. I also learned, win or lose, pitch competitions are a great way to get in front of investors. Do you see this Wharton's pitch competition list? Like, all the judges are investors. I'm signing off. Remember, make every day count. Yeah.